Yeah, g'day YouTubers, Tinker O'Toole again here with another video. Today we're going to talk about just some basic grinding profiles. It's pretty straightforward, it's not complicated, so from time to time you should make sure and check your wheel to make sure it's got the right radius on it so you get the right profile on your tooth. So the grinding wheel that's in there is 145 millimeters wide, and the wheel thickness, you've got two wheel thicknesses, 3.2 and 4.7. 3.2 is for your 3/8 low profile, and for 3/8 standard and 404 we use this wheel here. You can still use this wheel here for 0.325, although you could use 3.2 millimeters for 0.325. But when you dress the wheel, it generally comes with a radius card like that for the different profiles. Don't know whether you can see that 1/4 inch, 0.325, 3/8 and 404. And there's another one, 7/16. So we've got 4.7 millimeter wheel in there. And for the most part, you're going to dress the wheel. And if this was the grinding wheel here, you're going to dress it with a radius, that type of sweeping motion like that on the wheel. It's best to dress the wheel when the head is sitting up at 90 degrees and then just go backwards and forwards like that. And then you don't need to spend much time doing it. Just take your time and use your template card to check. So that's pretty straightforward. And the only mistake people make sometimes is they bring the head too deep down into the gullet. And then you end up with a bit of a flat. The side of the wheel ends up touching the side of the tooth and you end up with a little bit of a flat. So, and if you were to dress the wheel on a slight angle instead of that radius, right? Instead of putting that radius on the wheel like that, if that's the wheel flat there and you put another angle on it like that, you're going to end up with something like that. That's dressed at 90 degrees, so that's almost just dressed flat. But if you put a bit of an angle on it like that, you'll get a proper hexa shape, which will be a span of 120 degrees. So you can play around with that. That's no big deal to do that. It works quite well. But the one that I would like to show you is Stihl's RS Rapid Super, because I've got a 100-foot roll of it. And I also got other rolls, 100-foot rolls of other chain that's full chisel, but I like the shape of and the performance of Stihl's RS. So I always try and copy that type of profile. And we'll put a slide up of Stihl's RS. Now when you look at that, you'll notice it's got, like a lot of other full chisels on the market at the moment, you'll notice they've got this little tiny point. And if you look at the side plate in the midsection, it's generally about 85 degrees, give or take. That actually seems to work quite well. Good cutting performance and durability. You'll even see it even more aggressive than that on Husqvarna's X-Cut C85, where that's tilted at 40 degrees and 30 degrees on the top plate. But Stihl's RS has 50 degrees here on the top plate cutting angle, so we tilt the head at 50 degrees and we keep 30 degrees on here. Now to replicate that, or close enough, replicate it close enough to get a little sharp little point, what we need to do is have a template to help us. And I've made this template up, and as you can see, it's got top, so that faces at the top, and we've got 85 degrees. The reason I've got top written on it, flip it over the other way and you've got 85 degrees leaning backward slope. But that's a forward slope, and that's what we use on Stihl's RS, a forward slope. So we put that in there like that. This is set at 0 degrees and we set that at 50 degrees. I've got a fairly large dressing block, but you could use a smaller one. And we will hold that at the 85 degree position. And what I want to do is put a very small flat on this wheel, about 1.5 mm. So if I hold that at that angle and bring the grinding wheel down and start the grinder, then it's just a matter of moving the stone up and down at that angle and just putting a flat on there about 1.5 millimeters. Now, we'll put a slide up, another slide, and it's going to show you from the inside of the tooth through a CAD drawing of what that stone should be dressed like. Like, yeah, I can demonstrate and say it should be like that, it should be like this. But if you see the picture, I think the picture speaks 1,000 words, and it shows you the shape that you should have. So you can see on that picture where the blue line comes down, which is the side of the wheel, has that 85-degree angle, and then starts to form a little bit of a radius down the bottom, goes to the other side, then the wheel goes up the side of the wheel again. So that's what Stihl's RS wheel should look like. It doesn't have to be perfect like that, but as long as you get it reasonable, that's the main thing. So hopefully that puts people on the right track. You can reprofile all different type of profiles that are out there. Just means that you need a little bit of experience, and you don't want to be grinding half this wheel away just to end up with a profile. So the other thing, people make the big mistake that if you only got like we're showing, if you've only got a very, very small curve like that, it means that the side of the wheel is going to come in and touch the side of the tooth. So, you know, that's the type of curve that you want. But there's nothing wrong with the side wheel coming in and touching the side of the tooth and have a little bit of a flat section on there. So that's what Hexa looks like at 90 degrees. And on Stihl's RS, we're changing that so that the side plate looks like it's sloping at 85 degrees. This type of shape is also quite good. You'll notice at the point of the tooth there, it's got a beautiful shape, not too much hook on it. If you've got too much hook, it will cut aggressive, but it will go blunt very quickly. So the more hook that you have, it's not very durable. Hook is another word for mistake. We will put a slide up there of a tooth that's got a little bit too much hook. And you'll find out that if you've got a tooth like that, it won't stay sharp very long. Where Stihl's RS will stay a lot sharper and durable because that little point has got a lot of metal supporting it underneath the point. But if you have an elongated C shape, then the point is too elongated and there's not enough strength for the top plate to be rigid enough, and you can find out that that little point can bend over and be deformed, and it won't cut very good at all. So just avoid having anything that's got too much hook in it. It's okay to have a little bit of hook, right? So I'm not saying don't have a little bit of hook. Just don't get too much hook. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye for now.